Hello again, everybody. Today, very sunny out there now, and the sun is shining right in on top of us. But today we have a Volkswagen Passat. It's a 13, I think it's a 2-litre diesel Passat, and a customer complaint is, well, really this thing is just very sick. He said to me, no power, hard to start, and lights on the dash. So it did drive here. So let's see how this thing starts. Bit of a error start-stop system. Little bit of a long crank there, not too bad though. Low on power, and we have the flashing glow plug light, and we have the check engine light. And yeah, look, I suppose first things first, we'll get a scan tool on this and see what we come up with. Yeah, okay, the starting wasn't too bad, but anyway, look, we will get the scan tool on it, as I said. I'll get into the shop and we'll see where we go from here. Okay, talk to you in a minute. Okay guys, a full system scan there. A few modules reporting faults, but really the one we want to check out is the ECM. And we've got two in there. P065100 Sensor Reference, voltage B circuit open. So they're talking about the 5-volt reference from the computer to sensors. I think it could be. And then we have P019100 fuel rail pressure sensor A circuit range performance. Just a quick look at other modules. Window, no. ABS, engine control module, ECM. Don't know about that one. Something about a speaker. Yeah, no, I don't think anything else is going to. I don't think any of the other modules we have to worry about at the moment, but we do have to address them two codes. So we might have a look at this fuel rail pressure sensor circuit, and look, I think maybe a wiring diagram might be the right job to go for here on this, and look for components that are sharing the 5-volt reference and stuff like that. We'll suss it out anyway. Just got up a few PIDs in data there, and I have rail pressure 2000 bar. I don't know if that's not moving. We have fuel high pressure actual value 350 bar. Specified value is rising. It does seem to be reporting an idle 350, not a budge out of it. Then is that a bit weird? Key on, engine off. I don't know. I think I'll go to the wiring diagram. See what we see. Okay, so we're out under the bonnet of the Passat. We have the key on, engine off, as you can see there. And this is my fuel rail pressure sensor. Now I'm probed into a yellow and blue wire, a yellow with blue. And that, according to this wiring diagram, should be my 5-volt reference. So I have fuel rail pressure sensor there. Next one alongside is the intake air flap, which is here, which also has, you see, yellow and blue wire there. Next one along the line is EGR. I can't get to that, that's underneath somewhere. At the moment I can't anyway. Then we have the turbocharger position, which is here. And again, if you look at this, we also in here on pin number 3 there have that yellow with the blue wire. And then where's the EGR? Okay, turbo crank sensor. For some reason it changes color at some point along the way towards the crankshaft position sensor, but it's that wire from there coming across, feeding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sensors with the 5-volt feed. Now I'm on that yellow with blue wire on the crankshaft, or not on the crankshaft, sorry, on the fuel rail pressure sensor. With the key on, engine off, I have 3.35 volt, where according to the wiring diagram I should have 5 volts, and maybe that's where my codes are coming from. Now I'll take that out of there and we'll go in here to the intake air flap, and again I should have the 5 volts, but again I only have the 0.35. And also, while we're here, we may as well keep going and go to the turbo vane position sensor. And yet again, we are short of 5, but we do have the 0.35 volts. So there is something pulling down this 5-volt feed to these sensors. What is it? Is it one of these components? What I might do now is disconnect one by one to see at any point, do I get 5 volts back? If I do, could be blaming the sensor. If I don't, I don't know, might have to go revert back to see what I have on pin 25 there coming out of the ECU. So yeah, interesting enough. Might start disconnecting a few of these, go along the line and disconnect whatever is easiest to get at. Anyway, these 3 are quite easy. The crankshaft position sensor and the EGR valve are going to be from underneath, I would say. But anyway, look, we'll start up here and we'll see where we go or what happens. Right lads, an update. Disconnected, disconnected and disconnected. Also the turbo vane position, but no change. We haven't got our 5-volt reference back. Next one I want to try get access to is the EGR valve, and then maybe the crank, just to see, well, are one of them, is it a sensor pulling this thing down? Right, okay, it's underneath, up in the lift and underneath, looking to disconnect an EGR or a crank sensor. Okay, right lads, I'm not after disconnecting anymore yet. I just had this up in the lift, and it is, I know it's a farmer's car, but my god, look at the fucking mess. This underneath here, not the there's the EGR up there. Oh, it's absolute stink this car is. But yeah, okay, see, can I get to an EGR valve? See, can I disconnect that EGR valve? What a mess. Okay guys, that's the EGR valve disconnected. And still no change. Still stuck at 0.35 volts. Crank sensor in there. Can you see it? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Crank sensor in there. Maybe try disconnect that now and see. Will that do anything for me? Otherwise I'm going to the ECU, I believe. Okay, there's the crank sensor wire disconnected. And we're still stuck at 0.35 on the yellow with blue wire. Might have to go to the ECU and see what's coming out of the ECU, and is it being pulled down by touching off a body or an engine or a ground, you know. But yeah, I don't know, what a mess. Right lads, I managed to pull out the ECU from underneath the wipers there without disturbing too much or removing too much. Managed to get it out. Managed to get this off the back of the plug, so And I have found my yellow and blue wire, if you can see it there, and my back probe in on top of it. So we're in at that wire. Pin 25 is where we are at. And still, I'm still not getting my 5 volts there either. That's with everything disconnected now. Everything, we have our fuel rail sensor disconnected, we have our intake air flap disconnected, we have our EGR disconnected, we have our turbo position disconnected there, and we have our crankshaft position sensor disconnected. But yet we still don't have our 5 volts, and we still only have 0.35 of a volt. So is this a failure inside an ECU? Kind of starting to look a little bit like that. Let me have a think about this again for a minute now before I call ECU. Okay guys, just going over this Passat again. So we know, yeah, we are short the 5 volt reference on the yellow blue wire to all these sensors on the wiring diagram, and they're all being fed by that yellow blue wire there going along there. Now we did disconnect every one of them, and it didn't get our 5 volt resistor, still pulled down 0.35, 0.33 there. And I know it's not the wiring making its path to ground, of chassis ground, say, or engine ground. I checked that with my multimeter, and yeah, we were pointing the finger at the computer. But just before we go down that road, there is another few sensors here that are going to use the 5 volts from the computer. One being, what is that, an airflow meter? Yeah, maybe the airflow meter might use the 5 volts. Better disconnect that. There's a boost pressure sensor there that will use the 5 volts, and there is a exhaust differential pressure sensor there that will use the 5 volts. So just before, we're still in on the 5 volt wire that we're missing the 5 volts on, that yellow and blue, and like we see there. So yeah, just before we go at this computer, or condemn this computer, I'm going to disconnect. That's the exhaust pressure sensor, no joy. See, can I get that airflow meter disconnected? Nothing. And yeah, let's have a look underneath now for this boost pressure sensor. Disconnect that as well, see what happens. Wow, 5 volts on that wire. Wow. And how I got them 5 volts, guys, is the boost pressure sensor disconnected. And we have our 5 volts back. I also see here that the accelerator pedal would require 5 volts as well, but I don't have to go there now. We disconnected our boost pressure sensor, which is over here. And looking at the wiring diagram, it doesn't look like it's connected to that circuit, and the code said reference circuit B. So is there an A, reference circuit A? But anyway, look, excellent. 5 volt reference is back from the computer. Yeah, so as I say, it don't look like it's connected, but maybe it's connected inside in the computer, which you're not going to see any of that stuff on a wiring diagram. But yeah, all my concentration was going along here on that wire. But I am connected into the intake air flap here. And I'm going to have it everywhere. I'm going to have it, it's gone down, I'm going to have it here, connected here. Yes, I have it at the turbo position. So excellent, brilliant. Phew. Nearly gonna say that computer was done, but no, it's a sensor pulling the 5 volts to ground, or pulling the 5 volts down. Okay, we'll get a, there it is, that's disconnected. I'll go about trying to get a boost pressure sensor, put it in, and we'll clear code to see what happens. I reckon we're going to be fixed. Nice one. Okay lads, there's my old boost pressure sensor removed from there. Handy enough to change actually. Just 2 little torque screws holding it in. T25 I think. Yeah, T25. And there's my new boost pressure sensor. Bosch. Part number for anyone who wants it. So install that, fit that, connect it up, and hopefully we'll have our 5 volt reference when that's installed. Okay guys, boost pressure sensor fitted. I have the wire on the back of it as well. We'll go down now and we'll check for our 5 volts and do the whole code scan thing, see what happens then. Okay lads, the boost pressure sensor as you've seen is fitted, and good news, I have 5 volts on my yellow blue wire at the throttle body, which I didn't have before. Only when I disconnected the boost pressure sensor when I came back, but we have it now with everything connected back up. ECU is back tidied away in there, and to the scan tool. Now a lot of these codes I would have created, but this is the one that we couldn't clear and we were trying to get rid of. P065100 sensor reference voltage B circuit open. Believe I have that fixed now with my boost pressure sensor. So let's clear out these. And yes, no DTCs. Read them again. No codes present. Now, battery is a bit low. Might need to have a charger on it there. Might need a booster pack on this. But we'll start this up and we'll see how it reacts on the starting, see how it drives, make sure there's no check engine lights on. But yes, I believe I am fixed now, thankfully. Okay lads, let's start this car and see how it starts. Nice and quick start up there, and I got no glow plug flashing at me. I got no check engine light on, no lights on at all. Dive into the ECU. Read codes. No DTCs. Yes, nice one. Believe we have a fix on this Passat. Engine is running there now. Back to the multimeter, still in the yellow blue wire, 5 volt reference from the computer. We have 4.975 volts. I'm happy with that. Boost pressure sensor failure causing a 5 volt reference to drop on this Passat. The boost pressure sensor is here. Must be connected to the 5 volt reference circuit inside the computer that's not shown on the wiring diagram, and yeah, I'm happy with that. Was pointing the finger at the ECU for a bit, but yeah, we're done. Boost pressure sensor failure, causing the 5 volt to be pulled to ground or pulled down. Nice one. Happy days, lads. So yeah, again, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing, and I hope it helps someone along the